The Valteron scout ship hovered at the edge of the Sol system, its sensors quivering with excitement. Commander Liskin stared at the holographic display with all 6 of his eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered, mandibles clicking nervously. "This contradicts everything in the galactic archives." His second-in-command, Officer Polindra, leaned forward, her crystalline exoskeleton catching the light of distant stars. The primitive signal patterns suggested pre-spaceflight capability. The archives classified them as development stage 2, barely beyond fossil fuels. Yet there it is. Liskin gestured at the display showing Earth's orbital infrastructure. Thousands of satellites, several large stations, and evidence of regular lunar traffic. A stage for civilization hiding in plain sight. The Valteron High Command had dispatched their vessel after routine signal monitoring detected unusual patterns from the third planet. According to the Galactic Archives, which had cataloged over 12,000 civilizations across 3 spiral arms, Earth was supposed to be centuries from achieving interplanetary capability. Perhaps the archives are outdated? Polindra suggested, though she sounded unconvinced. The archives were continuously updated by automated probes and had been the cornerstone of Valteron First Contact Protocol for millennia. Impossible. The last probe passed through only 80 cycles ago, barely a blink for technological evolution. Liskin's upper appendage tapped commands into the console. Either way, this changes our approach entirely. We're no longer making contact with primitives who would worship us as gods. These humans have technologies that nearly rival our own. The ship's intelligence officer, Dovok, joined them at the console. Unlike his shipmates, his species had evolved in high-gravity environments, giving him a squat, dense physiology. "There's more, Commander. Our deep scans show evidence of quantum computing, antimatter containment research, and something even more disturbing. Their weapon systems use principles we've never encountered." Liskin felt his blood run cold. "Are you suggesting they've developed technologies independently of the standard progression path?" The standard progression path was the near-universal sequence of technological development observed across all known intelligent species. From fire to wheels to electricity to spaceflight, the pattern had been consistent enough to be codified into immutable law. "I'm not just suggesting it." Dovok pulled up detailed scans. "I'm proving it. Their energy weapons don't utilize plasma compression or laser amplification. They're using something else entirely." Polindra's voice dropped to a whisper. "If they've diverged from the path, then every assumption we've made about first contact is wrong," Liskin finished. "And High Command Standard Protocol could provoke a disastrous outcome." The Standard Protocol for Stage 2 civilizations involved an impressive display of technological superiority to establish the Valteron Confederation's dominance before offering membership as a protected client state. It was designed to prevent resistance and establish clear hierarchy. Liskin made his decision. "We need to observe further before making contact. These humans aren't what we expected." As they watched, a small craft departed from Earth's orbit, accelerating at speeds that should have been impossible for a civilization supposedly struggling with basic rocket technology. The galaxy's understanding of humanity was about to be dramatically revised. Arcturus Station hung in Earth's orbit like a gleaming diamond, home to the United Earth Defense Intelligence Division. Inside the station's quantum observatory, Director Marisol Oberon stood before a wall of 3-dimensional displays, her weathered face bathed in their blue glow. "They've been watching us for 3 days now," she said to the assembled team of Earth's foremost xenointelligence specialists, maintaining position just beyond Pluto's orbit. Dr. Thaddeus Remington, a tall man with deep ebony skin and a shock of white hair, manipulated the holographic controls. "Their cloaking technology is impressive, but our quantum sensors detected their gravitational footprint immediately. They clearly didn't expect us to have that capability." "What do we know about them?" asked General Eklund, the Swedish military commander representing Earth's United Defense Council. Marisol nodded to Dr. Nivedita Chandra, head of xenobiology. The scientist stepped forward, projecting a 3-dimensional model of the alien vessel. Based on our long-range scans, we're dealing with a species we've designated Valturans. They appear insectoid with elements of crustacean physiology. Their ship uses a propulsion system we've seen before, standard antimatter catalyzation. Effective, but nowhere near as efficient as our phase inversion drives. General Eklund frowned. Are they a threat? Unknown, Marisol replied. But their behavior suggests confusion rather than aggression. They expected something else when they arrived. For 2 centuries, humanity had maintained what they called the low-profile protocol. Earth's official communications and broadcasts were carefully designed to present the image of a struggling pre-spaceflight civilization, while their true technological advancements remained hidden behind quantum encryption and gravity-bending stealth fields. Dr. Remington nodded thoughtfully. The deception worked longer than any of us expected. 200 years of technological development hidden from galactic observation. But now they've spotted us, said Marisol. The question is, what do we do about it? Admiral Zhao, the oldest member present, spoke up. We've prepared for this moment since first observation. Project Revelation is ready. First observation, when humanity had detected alien probes scanning Earth 80 years earlier. That discovery had confirmed what many had suspected. Humanity was not alone, and they were being watched. Rather than announce themselves, Earth's nations had made the unprecedented decision to hide their true capabilities while secretly preparing for eventual contact. Is Project Revelation truly necessary? Asked Dr. Chandra. Perhaps we could simply introduce ourselves. General Eklund shook his head. Intelligent analysis of intercepted communications suggests a hierarchical galactic structure. Species are categorized by technological development. If we appear too primitive, we'll be colonized. If we reveal our true capabilities without preparation, we may trigger a preemptive response. Project Revelation gives us control of the narrative, Marisol added. We don't just reveal ourselves, we demonstrate that humanity cannot be underestimated. On the display, the alien ship changed position slightly, adjusting its observational angle. They're scanning our lunar installations now, noted Dr. Remington. I believe it's time to make a decision. Marisol took a deep breath. Initiate Project Revelation. Let's show our visitors exactly what humanity is capable of. Throughout Earth's orbital installations, hidden systems began activating, preparing to shatter alien assumptions about humanity's place in the galactic order. Commander Liskin stared at the data with growing alarm. 3 days of observation had yielded more questions than answers about the humans. They've broken every rule of technological progression, Officer Polindra said, reviewing the findings with equal parts fear and fascination. Their quantum computational methods shouldn't be possible without first developing neural interfaces. Their propulsion technology skipped at least 2 evolutionary stages. Dovak, the intelligence officer, had barely slept since their arrival. The most troubling aspect is their apparent awareness of galactic standards. Their public broadcasts maintain the fiction of a primitive civilization, while their actual development is centuries beyond. They're deliberately hiding their capabilities. The implications were disturbing. No species had ever concealed its development in this manner. The galactic archives documented a clear pattern. Civilizations developed technologies in predictable sequences, announced their presence proudly once achieving spaceflight, and eagerly joined the galactic community. Could they have been contacted already? Liskin wondered. Perhaps the Zethrians or the Moldavi consortium reached them first. Unlikely, Dovak replied. The quarantine beacons around this system were undisturbed until our arrival. According to protocol, any civilization making first contact would have updated the archives immediately. The ship's alert system suddenly blared. Liskin rushed to the command console. What's happening? Energy surge detected, reported the sensor technician, her multiple limbs working frantically across the interface. Massive power readings coming from Earth's lunar surface. The view screen shifted to show Earth's moon. Before their eyes, massive structures began emerging from the lunar surface. Structures that had been completely hidden from their scans. Impossible, Polindra whispered. Those installations would require matter phase technology to conceal. They have it, Liskin realized with dawning horror. They've mastered technologies that took the Confederation millennia to develop. The structures continued to rise from the lunar surface. Massive arrays, domed complexes, and what appeared to be shipyards. Most alarming was the unmistakable silhouette of defense platforms. "Commander," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission. It's directed specifically at us." Liskin hesitated only briefly. "Put it through." The view screen shifted to show a human female with dark skin and silver hair. She wore a simple blue uniform with no insignia or markings. "Greetings to the Valteron observation vessel," she said in perfect standard galactic, a language that humanity should have no knowledge of. "I am Director Marisol Oberon of United Earth. We've been expecting contact from the galactic community for some time now." Liskin felt his mandibles go slack with shock. "You know who we are?" The human smiled. "We've been studying galactic communications for decades. Your encryption methods are quite sophisticated, but not impenetrable." "That's not possible," Palindra whispered, though the human couldn't hear her. "Our quantum encryption is based on canonical mathematics," the human interrupted, somehow hearing the private comment. "We developed alternative approaches." Liskin struggled to maintain composure. Everything about this encounter violated established first contact protocols. "Director Oberon, may I ask why your civilization has concealed its true development level?" "Self-preservation," she replied simply. "Our observations suggested that the galactic community categorizes civilizations hierarchically. We preferred to understand the rules before announcing our presence." As she spoke, more installations revealed themselves across the lunar surface. In Earth orbit, massive ships decloaked, vessels that dwarfed the Valteron Scout. "We hope for peaceful relations," Director Oberon continued, "but thought it prudent you understand our capabilities first. Perhaps your ship would like to dock at our lunar facility? We've prepared appropriate atmospheric conditions for your species." Liskin exchanged glances with his officers. The standard protocols were useless now. Humanity had just rewritten the rules of first contact. The Grand Council chamber of the Valteron Confederation buzzed with agitation. Representatives from 37 spacefaring civilizations had gathered for an emergency session, and at the center of the chamber stood Commander Liskin, still processing the events of the past week. High Chancellor Vorex, ancient even by Valteron standards, leaned forward on his crystalline throne. "You mean to tell us that these humans not only developed outside the standard progression path, but have technologies that match or exceed our own?" "Yes, Chancellor," Liskin confirmed. "And they've remained hidden deliberately, studying us while we believe them primitive." The chamber erupted in overlapping voices. A Zethrian representative, her luminescent skin flashing with distress patterns, raised her voice above the din. "This violates the fundamental principles of the archives. Technological development has followed predictable patterns across thousands of civilizations for millions of years." And yet came a new voice from the chamber entrance. "Here we stand." The assembly fell silent as Director Marisol Oberon entered, flanked by a diverse group of humans. Their arrival at the Valteron homeworld, supposedly impossible for a newly contacted species, had sent shockwaves through the Confederation. "Humanity discovered something your civilization overlooked," she continued, walking calmly to the center of the chamber. "The standard progression path isn't a natural law, it's a construct." Dr. Thaddeus Remington stepped forward, activating a holographic display. "We detected artificial limitations embedded in foundational technologies shared across the galaxy. Subtle mathematical constraints engineered to channel development along predetermined paths." The display showed complex equations revealing hidden patterns in technologies from antimatter containment to quantum computing, patterns that deliberately prevented certain innovative approaches. "When humanity developed in isolation," Marisol explained, "we encountered no such limitations. Our mathematical and scientific evolution took different paths, allowing technological leaps your civilizations were subtly prevented from achieving." Chancellor Vorex's exoskeleton paled. You suggest sabotage? But who would? The precursors, interrupted Domathex, the ancient Moldavi representative. The chamber fell silent. Even mentioning the mysterious beings who had disappeared millions of years ago was unusual. The legends speak of those who would guide the young ones. We always assumed it meant benevolence. Marisol nodded. We believe the precursors established the archives and the technological limitations as a control mechanism, ensuring predictable development of new species. The human team activated another display, showing an archaeological discovery for Mars, an ancient installation with markings matching those found throughout the galaxy. The precursors visited our system eons ago but never returned, explained Dr. Remington. Without their ongoing influence, humanity developed along our own path. When we discovered their installation on Mars, we realized what had happened across the galaxy. The chamber remained stunned as the implications spread. Everything they knew about technological development, the very foundation of their civilization's understanding of the universe, had been built on hidden constraints. We come not as supplicants seeking admission to your confederation, Marisol said firmly, but as equals offering partnership. Together, we can unravel these artificial constraints and discover what lies beyond. Chancellor Vorex studied the humans carefully. You could have kept this knowledge to yourselves. Maintained your advantage. That was discussed, Marisol admitted. But humanity has learned that true advancement comes through cooperation, not domination. We believe the precursors left these limitations for a reason. Perhaps there are dangers in unrestricted technological development that they encountered. Or perhaps, added a Keldorian philosopher, they simply wished to control what came after them. Either way, Marisol concluded, the galaxy now stands at a crossroads. Continue along the predetermined path, or step into true freedom of innovation. Humanity offers its hand in partnership for whatever challenges lie ahead. As the council chamber erupted in discussion, Liscan approached the human delegation. You've changed everything, he said quietly. The coming cycles will see more advancement than the past 1,000 years combined. Marisol smiled. That's what humans do best, Commander. We question assumptions. We break patterns. And most importantly, we never stop exploring what's possible. Throughout the galaxy, the news spread rapidly. The species that had hidden itself had revealed not just their existence, but a truth that would forever alter the course of galactic civilization. The age of predetermined technological evolution was over. A new era of true innovation had begun, and humanity, the unexpected variable in the cosmic equation, would help lead the way.